On the 554th day of the war in Ukraine, the fighting was concentrated in these areas. On the Zaporizhzhia front, battles continue in the Verbove sector. Today, sources from both sides reported that close-range combat took place in the northwestern outskirts of Verbove. Ukrainian forces crossed the first line of the Russian defense and made several attempts to advance in this direction, where it seems that the Russian defense is weaker. Ukrainian sources say that now Ukrainian troops are present beyond the anti-tank ditch and the Dragon's Teeth line, while the Ukrainian artillery and aviation are working to suppress the Russian infantry trench line located about 1.5 kilometers east of the first line of the Russian defense. Russian source Rybar informed that today the Ukrainian forces made at least 2 attempts to penetrate inside Verbove. Rybar reported that at least 2 Su-25 attack aircraft covered the movements of 2 Ukrainian assault units, while Ukrainian artillery conducted massive shelling over the Russian positions. Later, 4 more assault units of the 82nd Air Assault Brigade and the 46th Airmobile Brigade tried to advance, while the Ukrainian artillery supported them with cluster munition fire. According to the Russian source, the Ukrainian attacks were not successful, while some pro-Ukrainian sources say that the Ukrainian forces may have a partial control over the northwestern outskirts of the town. According to them, the activity detected by firms during the last 24 hours has shifted from the northwestern parts of Verbove to the southeastern parts, and this indicates that the Ukrainian forces may have pushed inside the town. In the southern part of the front line, Ukrainian forces continue to increase their control over the areas east of Novoprokopivka. This is also confirmed by the Russian source Varganzo, who reported that the Ukrainian units have advanced in this direction, while the Russian forces are taking positions along the eastern outskirts of the town. On the Kupiansk-Liman front, clashes were reported in several parts of the front line. To the northeast of Kupiansk, despite their efforts and the numerical advantage, it seems that for the moment the Russian offensive remains stalled, and in some areas, Russian forces have been pushed back. As confirmed by Ukrainian sources based on geolocated footage coming from this area, after a counterattack conducted northeast of Synkivka, Ukrainian forces managed to force Russian troops out of some positions, pushing them further north. Ukrainian forces reached the forest lines northeast of Synkivka, thus reducing the pressure on their eastern flank. As reported by Ukrainian sources, it seems that the Russian command will concentrate more forces in the area southwest of Svatove, trying to advance towards Nadia and Novoiehorivka. However, after clashes that took place here yesterday, it was reported that the Ukrainian forces managed to expand their control in the areas north of Novoiehorivka. In the southernmost part of the front, Russian forces advanced inside the Serebrianka's forestry. After weeks of fighting, Russian troops managed to capture a trench network in the areas north of Novoiehorivka. According to Ukrainian sources, because a good part of the Russian forces who were operating in this area have been transferred to the southern fronts, it is expected that the intensity of fighting will decrease in the coming weeks. On Kherson front, Ukrainian forces restarted their operations across the Dnipro river. Today, geolocated footage published by Russian sources showed that the Russian artillery targeted the eastern banks of the Dnipro river a few kilometers west of Kozachi Lageri, which proves that the Ukrainian forces have some control over these areas. 2 days ago, Ukrainian soldiers raised the Ukrainian flag in the Antonivsky Bridge area, confirming that Ukrainian forces continue to be present in this bridgehead and have also increased their control towards the buildings to the east of their initial positions. Skirmishes and artillery duels have been reported in the islands of the Dnipro Delta, where Ukrainian sources say that the Russian forces of the 205th Brigade who operate in the islands are suffering from major supply issues. According to the latest reports coming from the Ukrainian sources based on geolocated footage, Russian artillery is seen hitting the area of Kinburn Spit, which according to them indicates that the Ukrainian DRG units may have recently landed in this area. Friends, if you like my daily updates, I kindly ask you to hit the like and subscribe buttons, as this will greatly help the channel to reach a wider audience. That's all for today's update. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and have a great day.